just wanted to say thanks to everybody for reaching out and make sure I knew that the Bruins got smoked and we ruined greatness. All right, we're back. I'm here in northern Colorado, very, very high elevation. I actually filmed my in the bag for Team Mania today. Very exciting stuff. However, I've got some stuff to talk about. So we got some beautiful scenery, some nice rocks around the green here, set up for some crazy putts. So we're gonna take a page out of Coach Broad's book and we're gonna do some putting and talking. This year, 2023 season, not ideal. I have not been playing my best kind of golf. I don't really know why. It's just kind of rolling with the punches and seeing if we can tweak some things week to week. But I don't know. Nothing like feels like specifically wrong. It just feels like I'm doing a lot of things and a lot of things seem to not be working sometimes. Whether it be putts, whether it be tee shots, whether it be up shots, decision making, just straight up like golfing mentality. I'm clearly doing something wrong. And around this time last year, I was probably saying the same thing. I'm not happy with the way my season's going so far. However, the way my season is going this year is significantly worse than the way my season was going last year. So it's like 50-50, give or take certain events that last year I played good at, this year I played bad at. Even though maybe last year my good was not great and I wasn't very satisfied with it. So basically what I've come to realize, which is kind of an obvious thing, everybody on tour is getting better. I feel like I am getting better as a player. The difference being that everybody else seems to be like unfazed by the pressure of having to continuously get better in order to keep up. And it's not like it's like getting in my head. I feel like the spot that my capabilities are at right now actually is making me feel like I have a chance to win some of these events. So instead of doing what I would have done, let's say 2 years ago, which would be, let me lay up for par on this hole because I don't want to get a bogey. Now I'm like, well, I know I can birdie this hole, and birdieing this hole is going to help me get a higher finish. So I play it aggressively and then end up paying the price for it. Oh man, I hope you can see me. This will be a sick putt. Oh yeah. Oh, from Vegas miscash to Waco miscash. Obviously not ideal, not the way I wanted to go. However, felt very salvageable. Go to Austin, get back on track, get a cash there. Blue Ridge Championship, I found myself basically just giving away a spot in the cash. That did not make me happy. Now the difference between a tournament like the Blue Ridge Championship and the Champions Cup, first of all, confidence coming in. Blue Ridge, I liked the course personally, so I was ready to attack it with a neutral mindset. And obviously Champions Cup, one of my favorite courses in the world. Oops. I was just like ready to get after it. And Blue Ridge, the way I played, the way I finished, the way I acted, kind of deflated me a little bit. And I hate to say it, but it definitely carried into the next weekend at the Champions Cup, where I felt so good on WR Jackson once again, was ready to put a solid finish together, maybe even compete for the win this year. And then I found myself absolutely working as hard as I possibly could just for like some pars out there on WR Jackson. And it took a toll. But even through all that, I still just was like, all right, it's time to get back after it, improve on the next week. And then Jonesboro has always been one of my better events. Like I said, Champions Cup, played really good last year. But Jonesboro, I went 5th in 2021, and then I got a top 20 last year. And I was just like, okay, perfect formula to have like a nice little comeback this year and put together a good tournament. And then I probably arguably have my worst tournament of the year. Due to some bad luck in the final round, but that was already after I put myself out of position for any sort of greatness. So I didn't expect to do that. I mean, why? If I expected to do that, I wouldn't have signed up for the tournament, right? Very comforting to know that like I have friends and family that, care and support me and love to see me do well. But I found myself saying to myself at the Blue Ridge Championship and Champions Cup, like, I wish that nobody cared. And it's just because, like, it's as simplest thing as, like, when I shoot bad, I don't get any text messages. But when I shoot good, I get billions. And it's like, I wish that just nobody would text me at all, or people would text me every time regardless. And it's just like, that metric just kind of screws with your head sometimes. And, like, you know, the simplest thing is my parents saying good luck. And then I'm out there having a tough day. I'm like, yep, you know, I know they're checking this scorecard. Not doing too hot. And it got me down to the point, like, I'm at such a good spot with myself and my life off the course. Like, I had Ellie with me in Champions Cup. Couldn't ask for anything more than to have my girl with me for one of my favorite tournaments of the year. Yet at the same time, I was literally, like, in tears on the course in the final round because I couldn't believe how desperately I couldn't save my round or save my tournament. Sucked. This is tough because, like, I know other people care, and so do I. So I want to do my best. But even in all those hard times, you know, I had some tough days, especially in Augusta when I wasn't shooting my best, and I just didn't have an answer as to why. But man, I'm not doing too hot right now. And the disc golf game is one thing, but every single time I would walk off the disc golf course this first half of the year, you know what I got to do? I got to watch the Boston Bruins hit the ice and dominate the league. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Boston Bruins Star Wars kind of hybrid shirt. Shout out to my buddy Brad for getting that for me. And, you know, now that all these tournaments have passed, we're like, I was looking forward to the next one more. Okay, didn't do good at Blue Ridge. Let me make up for it at Champions Cup. Didn't do good at Champions Cup. Let me make up for it at Jonesboro. And then Jonesboro being like that last straw. Okay, this is an event I've done really well at in the past. And now I didn't do well. And then the Boston Bruins blow a 3-1 lead in the playoffs. And they lose the series to the worst team in the East, the Florida Panthers. It hurt. It hurt a lot. And, you know, I left Jonesboro after my final round because I had to hit the road, get over here to Colorado. And I just found myself in my van by myself, ready to watch the Bruins like I have been doing. And now the final round of Champions Cup, like I said, I got pretty emotional on the course. Tough day. But after the round, I got to check my phone because the Bruins played while I was on the course, and they took it down. And all was good. 3-1 lead. The Bruins had the greatest regular season of all time. Most points by any NHL team. Most wins by any NHL team in the history of the league. And then I leave Augusta, Georgia, go to Jonesboro. All 3 games they played while I was in Jonesboro, they lost. And then on top of it, I played very bad. I've lived through some years of success with the Bruins. I've also lived through some years of failure with the Bruins. They've missed the playoffs. They get early outs in the playoffs, especially, like, you know, 2014, we were the best team in the league. And then 2020, canceled or shortened season because of COVID. We were the best team in the league, best record at least. But this year, our captain, Patrice Bergeron, basically calling it as this is the run. This is the last run. All the chips are in. The last dance. We're going all in on 2023, the greatest NHL team that ever touched the ice. And the playoffs come, and we look absolutely nothing like the team we were before the playoffs started. I've experienced playoff heartbreak before, especially with the Bruins. You know, Patriots won a Super Bowl like every other year, so I wouldn't even call it heartbreak. It's just like, oh, we weren't the best this year. But the Bruins have been, you know, very fluctuated, whether they're good or bad. And this year, I haven't felt this amount of happiness from the Bruins probably since the 2013 2013 season when we lost in the Cup final. The 2019 season was a hell of a run to the Cup. In 2013, when they lost in the Cup final, I was at home. My parents, I was 13, I cried, of course. Then in 2019, I was in Minnesota when they lost, and I was the only Bruins player in the vicinity because I was at Colin Bailey's house and nobody else is a Bruins fan. And you know, I had to sit and wallow in it, but like at the same time, I was at one of my best friend's house for the week, and it was just like all positives all around. But this year, you know, I watched a lot of the games, watched some games in Georgia with Jeff Brick and Ellie and Marky Chap and Alicia, even like Kyle and Cynthia. And when they started losing after game 5, 6 and 7, you know, things got sickening. Linus Hallmark basically gave the game away in game 5. What I'm most upset about, first of all, game 6 and 7 should never happen. But the thing that really got to me the most, I got off the course in Jonesboro in the final round and hit the road going to Colorado. And of course, you know, long drive is a long drive. You gotta really get in gear. Doesn't matter where you're going or where you're coming from, a long drive could really take it out of you. But now I'm like, I gotta watch game 7 while I'm driving. There's no way I'm gonna miss it. I subscribed to Sling TV for like a short, like a month trial just to watch the game. I watched the game, we're losing 2-0. We end up coming back. Not only do we score 2 goals and tie it up, we even take the lead in the 3rd period of game 7. Putts are dropping, just that's all I'm gonna say. I mean, obviously I'm not doing like anything crazy, but they're dropping. They're dropping. Get down to the 3rd period, minute left. They pull the goalie. Got an opportunity to put it away, put the series behind us, onto the next, onto the Maple Leafs. What do you know? We turn the puck over. They score. Going to overtime. I keep driving. I'm watching overtime. It's not really loading, so I'm like, oh great. Like, I don't know what's going on with the game. But then, of course, we fail to get the puck out of our own zone, and the Florida Panthers score. End the series. Bruins historic season done. Done. Over. Nothing to be argued. Nothing to be redone. It was over. That's it. That was their last chance. They gave away all 3 chances. Game 5, game 6, game 7. And then I'm still driving a 17-hour trip. I mean, I'm going to drive until I want to sleep, and then I'll finish the drive the next day. But what I went through on that drive through Kansas, the Bruins lose, I had no desire to do anything. I didn't want to listen to music. I didn't want to talk on the phone. I didn't want to listen to a podcast. The only thing I wanted to do was teleport to wherever I was going to and end the drive because I was just done. And it was tough. I probably sat in like an hour and a half of silence after the game ended, game 7. I was going through it, man. Like, this season was the highest of highs leading to the lowest of lows. And I am telling you right now, I would not be feeling this way if we even just got knocked out in the conference final. But the first round is unacceptable. And I know, Boston sports, controversial. Not a lot of people are supportive of the Boston teams at all. In fact, some people might just say, oh, it's blank against a Boston team while I'm rooting for them because I hate Boston teams. And I get it. And the fact is, I go and film my video at Hobbs Farm last week in Georgia. When I filmed that video, the Bruins were winning 3-1. And I show off my second run FD with the Bruins logo, and I throw it, and I'm like, you know, that was a game 2 shot. That was also a game 5 and 6 shot. If anybody out there thinks that I needed a reminder that that was a bad take because I posted the video a week later, thanks. Thanks a lot. As if I needed that. I'm already at rock bottom, bro. My team just got knocked out after being the best team ever. I don't need the reminder that we absolutely choked away the greatest season of all time. And it's been a tough couple days, man. Like, I keep checking the score as if it's going to change. As if the game, like, as if there's going to be a game 8, you know? It is not going to be. It's over. Bergeron's career might be done. Krejci might be done. Who knows what's in the future for us if we're even going to have a playoff chance next year. Just wanted to say thanks to everybody for reaching out and make sure I knew that the Bruins got smoked and we ruined greatness. But yeah, that's all I got for today. A little putt and talk, a little bit of a rant. I've been better. That's all I'm going to say. I've been better. Because the disc golf game needs to improve. But when the disc golf game was at its worst, the Bruins brought me back up and gave me hope. And now, go Celtics, I guess. Jeez. Hope you enjoyed my putting session combined with rant. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Beautiful scenery here in Colorado. Very happy to be here at the warehouse and whatnot. But as always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.